Hello Armin, Captain Mike here from Motion RC, along here with some other folks here that work at Motion, a good team here. I want to show you this Yak 130 by Ready2Fly. This Yak has everything you can actually ask for. The detail is crazy. We're going to start out with the Retracts. Now under the Retracts you have LED lights on each retract and sequencing doors. This is beautiful, square. Very nice, and you can see those lights flashing at you, and the doors go right back down, and all you have is just the hatch doors, just like the real Yak. Also, you have for speed, or the lack of speed therefore, you have an air brake. Check that out. After that nice landing, pop that up, and you're going to slow that down. Also, you have true Fowler flaps. Now watch them pull out and then down. This is marvelous. Not only that, you get the full tail movement on the stabilizer. Is that cool or what? And you got your rudder. This thing is fully detailed, and I want to give you a head-on shot of this. Not only that, you do have exit air holes coming out the rear here, which is pretty doggone sweet. And you guys got to get this front view. This is such a beautiful, beautiful front view. Oh, front view here. I took off his magnetic missile there. This thing is marvelous. Now on the battery, they have it. It's a real small, a very tiny hatch in there, and I'm going to lift it up. Battery actually goes against the front of the wood. We have 1.5 ounces in the front of the nose with the battery at this point here, and we'll get close-ups of that when we do the follow-up. But this Yak 130 is absolutely awesome, and this has a lot of flight time on it. It's holding up very, very nicely. And again, on those Retracts, they do have spring struts on there, so almost like the real Oleo on the one. This is very nice. The intake is beautiful. With that, let's get into the technical during the flight. So let's take this baby up.
Within the past few years, foam has really come a long way in the RC airplane industry. The Yak 130 from Ready2Fly is probably the best, latest example of just how far these models have come. This model is ready to fly out of the box, plug and play, meaning the servos, motor, and everything's already installed in it. It is a great scale representation of the Yak 130 airplane made by Yakolov in Russia. It is a 90mm featuring a 1700 kV motor that is spinning a 12-blade impeller in a metal shroud, and listen to this sound.
That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's even a couple years ago, shoot, even a year ago, to get this type of performance and this type of scale for this price, it just wasn't really out there. Recently, the market's seen a couple of new airplanes come to try and compete for best 90mm. Of course, like anything, there are different ranges. There's a best acrobatic airplane, the fastest one, the most semi-scale. This Yak is easily the most beautiful. Look at that. All the ordnance pops off with magnets, as you've seen in our other videos. If not, I invite you to check them out. There's a close-up showing those Retracts. There's scale sequence doors, scale trailing link nose and main struts, true Fowler flaps, and a lot of space for a large battery. We're flying it here on an Admiral 6L 5000, and there's space for a 6600 if you like.
Now I noticed this is true to scale, so we're not going to be pushing this to the limits.
Right, this airplane's more designed for pilots who want to bring something out to the field which frankly no one's seen before. We've all had F-16s, F-18s. There's a lot of P-51s out in our field, which are great flying aircraft. What Ready2Fly has done here is really introduce something new, something we haven't seen, and with it all the scale features. Now that being said, you're right, Mike. It's not designed as something you're going to be flipping upside down and turning and burning, as it were. But you really can't beat the total package in this airplane.
Now I gotta admit, the Su-35 looked awesome, but this is without a doubt the most scaly looking aircraft in the air. Between this and Eurofighter, I couldn't tell those apart in real life, other than the sound.
That's true.
Man, that is a beautiful sound.
The flight time on this airplane with 5000's right about 3 minutes. You're going to want to manage your throttle like any EDF. And look at those bright landing lights. Airplane settles so nicely. And a great touch.
So what's the minimum on this field as far as for this plane would you recommend then, as far as takeoff and landings?
You know, I would give it at least 250 feet just to be safe. You can take off in shorter and land in shorter distances, but for the full-scale experience, you're going to want to run this airplane up, let it roll out and achieve its own lift. Don't really want to force it. We'll pop the air brake here, and you see again with its scale profile from the pitot tubes to the bird killer up in the front. It just doesn't get better than that.
And that back pilot there, he looks exactly like Yurin Propov.
I like that because it's all in my language.
And there it
Look at
is,
that.
Yak 130.
Beautiful.
Regarding the CG placement on the Yak 130 from Ready2Fly, we recommend the Admiral 6L 5000 50C placed all the way forward up against the balsa bulkhead. You may need to add extra nose weight if you're flying with the ordnance. The ordnance does tend to bring the airplane rearward. This is 1.5 ounces, which allows us to achieve neutral flight.
So if we take off the ordnance, then will it CG correctly right where it's at?
It will.
Okay, so this is just strictly for ordnance.
Correct.
All right, so is there a way that we can make that so that can come out in case we want to fly clean?
No, for pilots who want to have a removable weight solution, I recommend Velcro.
All right, that's simple. Thanks guys. Remember to subscribe and follow us on Facebook.